Alright, are you coming? Oh, I was gonna wait for you. Yeah, no?
What?
Does it look okay? Like...
Yeah, I think so. Why are we cramped? Why don't we spread out a little bit?
Because we have to fit in this frame. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am by now, my name is Des. I go by DESB, and you've stumbled across my YouTube channel. You've coincidentally also stumbled upon my fiance and I. Oops. So yeah, we're engaged AF, and it happened this weekend. Shook, still shook. It's kind of weird to talk about, but we're here for our first, well, actually our second couples Q&A. We haven't done this since like
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years?
2016-ish.
Yeet. So what we're gonna do is go through a couples Q&A now, especially because we're newly engaged. So this is obviously like forever. And so we're gonna go through some of your guys' questions and what you asked. Here's my ring. Can't really see it that well with this lighting.
Disclaimer, I'm super sweaty, so you're gonna see a lot of sweat beads on my face.
Okay, let's dive into this Q&A. What do you say?
Let's do it.
This is a good one to start out with. Starting out strong, peeps. Have you ever gotten into a fight and or almost ended the relationship? If yes, why? How did you resolve it? If no, what has kept you strong throughout all the obstacles?
No, for the first part of that question, we've never had a fight where it's been threatened or anything like that. Really, for the first like 2 years, we hardly fought, and it was like, okay, when's it gonna go downhill? To be honest, like it was like weird. But no, honestly, the biggest arguments come from just really making someone swallow their pride, and literally having to be stubborn because we can both be stubborn.
Yeah, we're both very hard-headed. I would say like what kept us like strong through the obstacles. What I would honestly say, communication. I think we both communicate really well. Next question. Let's see. What has been some of the most challenging things in your relationship and how have you overcome them? But I would say the most challenging thing we had to face was honestly like the distance that we had for a long time.
Yeah, especially, what would that be, 2017 into
all last year.
Yeah,
all last year to the beginning of this year. I was in Ohio. I was living with his family, and then he was still at college. And then into the beginning of this year, I moved home, but it was still over an hour away. We were both grinding in separate points of our life, so it was just like, it was hard. I think it was harder than we thought at the time. Like looking back, it was like, wow, that was really hard.
I graduated and went home, so then that made her 4 hours away again because she was back up near school.
Yeah, that was terrible. So that kind of goes into another question. What our tips are for long distance? What?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
I think just, you know, making sure that you don't forget to talk to each other.
Yeah.
When you're doing like your own grind, I think it's hard to remember like, oh my gosh, like I didn't text him back. Especially
when you've been together for a while, or if you've been together for a while, it's easy to be like, oh, we're fine, and just like, I'll text you 5 hours from now.
Yeah.
When you just now think of it. But I think that's when it started to get harder, even though we've been together for so long, is because we just kind of just almost stopped communicating like efficiently.
Yeah, like we'd still like catch up, like,
hey, can I call you?
But it wasn't like, we didn't keep it like spicy.
Yeah, and then the conversations like on the phone got shorter just because then we'd get annoyed because we were never with each other, and then we didn't know where our path was going.
And then us being annoyed, that's when we would bicker. I would say like, if anything,
yeah,
we were both like,
time.
we were both so frustrated with the positions we were in that it was like,
yeah,
we took it out on each other.
Yeah, and it took like every couple weeks to regroup and realize we were acting stupid.
Yeah, we were acting stupid. Okay, next question. One thing that you guys love about each other, or what, like, what's your fave thing about each other?
You go first.
Why?
Let's hear it.
I think my favorite thing about Wyatt is the word combativeness even a word? Like
combativeness?
Like you
definitely not.
Like, well, okay. Your turn.
Combative?
No, like if I say something snarky out of just me displacing my negative energy on you, like you always come back even snarkier and like put me back on my place. Like, yeah, you're very combative.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Like you never let me like get away with being sassy. Like you always show me like that, hey, you're being sassy.
Yeah.
But like in a good, constructive manner. Cause
yeah, I think that's where our communication comes from, you know?
Yeah.
Because we get each other at this point to where it's like, hey,
like you're literally being stupid, stop.
Talk to me in 20 minutes.
It's cool.
Okay, what's your favorite one? Because there are just so many.
Exactly. I would say relative to now and where we're at, her tidiness, because I'm not tidy. So her selflessness, I guess selflessness will make it cuter. Her selflessness, because she'll do the little stuff that can add up that I hate doing, especially when I'm gone all day, and then once I get home I just want to sit down and relax and like hang out with the dogs and her. So her doing the little things of even just putting the dishes from the sink into the drying rack, you know, just small stuff. I like that. Make it relative to now.
Thanks, Wyatt.
You're welcome.
Wifey for lifey.
Oops. Let's get a funny question or something.
I know, I'm trying. Everyone's just being so serious. Do you have any pet peeves about each other?
Ooh. That's a good one.
Yes. But no, I wouldn't even call them pet peeves. It's just, we both know it's like our own personal tics.
Yeah.
It's not
like, you're so annoying.
It's just like, like that's so something you would do, you know?
Uh-huh.
Mine, you go.
Okay. Mine is when, now that we're living together, if she gets food and puts it in the fridge, I double check. Are you like, am I okay to have this? Yeah, you can have it, I'm done. The next day she'll like, well, I didn't want you to have all of it. And it would be like just one serving of meat or something so small. I'd be like, if like, I'll buy my own groceries then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's funny. But again, that's a time where I just kind of put you in your place.
One thing that really bothers the freak out of me is when I'm doing laundry and your stuff is inside out. I cannot handle that. I am nice enough to go out of my way to play housewife, and I do laundry, and every time I pull out like anything, boxers, shorts, t-shirts, anything,
Socks.
It is freaking inside out. And I remember my mom yelling at me all the time when I was a kid of like flipping it inside, like back inside out. So when I'm going through every single freaking piece of apparel, I have to, you know, put my hands all in and...
Yeah, that's a bad habit. I'll admit that.
Yeah, that's just like...
I'll admit that. It's a good one.
Wyatt, please.
I gotta think of a better one then.
What's your favorite memory together? Let's not include the proposal, because TBH, that was really lit.
That was crazy. If you got one, go ahead. I'm thinking.
I think mine was the first time that I went to Ohio with you. And it was the first time, like, he invited me to go meet his family. Well, I met his family, like, kind of. But, like, this was, like, a real you're in type of meeting. And on our way there, we're, like, what, 3.5 hours in. We had 30 minutes to go. 30 minutes to go. And his truck broke down. It was, like, the first time we were, like, really going out together too.
I could throw a rock out of jail. That's how
yeah, we broke down on an exit next to a correctional facility. That was funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then we like went to the zoo and stuff, but that weekend in general was like the first weekend at his home, and it was really cool. You go.
It's a good one. I mean, like, I'm trying to find a good separate one that's not generic. You know what I mean? Going back to different events.
Yeah, his memory is not good.
It's so bad.
His memory is so bad. So bad. Again, but like, you learn to deal with it.
You guys know that. Shouldn't have said that. I did it. Let's see. I was gonna cut this and make it a little faster.
Yeah, so.
Like all I can think of is like football things, but like, because I tried to think of I'm on the spot. I can't think of anything even worse. I would say for mine would be when we first like kissed at a party. When was that? 2015? Yeah. So her friend called me over and I was like, hey Wyatt, come here. And I was like, oh, what's up? You know, and she looks at Des, and I'm a freshman. I'm 18 years old, 18 or whatever. No, 19. And she goes, if you don't, I will. And looks at Des. I go, okay.
Oh my God.
No, but then that happened. And then from there, I was like, okay.
I like her.
She made the first move, and I tried to for like months, and I was too scared to do it. But I would say that'd be my favorite memory. That was a good time.
That was a good one. We've been kissing ever since. What's the first thing we noticed about each other?
Braces.
Insert pic.
Right. I would say, just as simple as it is that you were an athlete. So to me, I was automatically drawn to that.
Right.
Because like, you just get an athletic lifestyle. It just says a lot about somebody that plays sports in general. No, it doesn't matter where.
Same.
The first thing I liked a lot.
Yeah, I like that about you too, because like football players are just so like big and hot, and like and like, you know. Yeah. And you had a man bun.
I did.
And that was like, that had me weak. Oof. How or when did you know that she was the one?
We were talking for a while, and I was being like an immature boy, basically, in college. We were just like talking one night, she was over, and eventually she was just like, well,
I don't know what your plan is, but like mine's not to just sit here, so
you know, you basically just make your decision. And basically it was at like 2 a.m. at this point. So we were talking for a while, and she just rolled over and went to sleep, and I was like,
Oh.
I remember.
And at that point I was like, okay, is it worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's when I was like, okay, she knows what she wants. I like that.
Mine was truly like the first time I kissed you. That night, I just knew, I was like, dude, that was it. I feel like everyone usually has that, like, everyone has different times of like really knowing. And for some people you hear them and they'll say, oh yeah, I knew right away. And then the other person just maybe didn't. And like, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're weird. Like for me, I just like really knew like right away.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
It's Reggie.
What's he doing?
He's gnawing on the trim.
Well, what are you doing? Oh, jeez.
What?
We've got trouble.
Did he ask your parents' blessing?
I asked her dad, yes. My all-time ideal, I guess, scenario was to be able to do it in person, but being in Florida and having the plan I had set in place, wasn't really possible. So I just called him, got his blessing. After I told him, my mom and I and him, we were all basically in the conclusion not tell her mom or sister because they would not be able to hold it together at all.
And they didn't, and they didn't even know.
Yeah, so they didn't know. I literally didn't tell them at all. And honestly, they both told me I made the right choice because your sister was like, well, good thing, because I would have told her. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. And then your mom, she was,
my mom
out
was
of this world.
panic
excited.
attack mode.
Yeah. So if she knew, she probably wouldn't even have said a word to you.
No, like she would have not looked at me for
Not at
all day. So since people are probably like knowing anyway, and I know that this was asked like 500 times, first and foremost, we did go ring shopping. We did like pick out this ring together, but he didn't like buy it when I was there. We just purely went to look.
That was 2 months in advance.
Yeah, that was 2 months ago. And I also like have to say, for those of you that have like asked advice, I would suggest highly going with your significant other to pick out a diamond and a ring in general, because what I thought envisioned like on Pinterest forever was not what I chose to get at all. But in terms of like how he went about doing it, like I haven't even really heard this. So how did you really like...
Oh yeah.
Like, what did you even do?
Well, I mean, the first thing is I told her after we went ring shopping to like, okay, this could be a year from now. It could be next week. Don't bring it up because I don't want any like spoilers. I don't want you asking about it. If I have something set in place, I didn't want an awkward answer back to her to where she has an idea now, because I was all about secrecy. I told her that, and that made it easy then to just do my own thing, my own time, and it just kind of worked out. But
how did you do the proposal? Like, a lot of people are wondering like if I knew and how you got away with it.
So once I got the ring, biggest thing I had to hide was as soon as I got it, he put it in this big elaborate bag, bowed it shut, and I'm like, dude, as soon as I get home, I'm throwing it away. Like, I can't have a whole bag sitting somewhere. So I hid it in the corner of our closet under a bunch of hats with like a shirt under the hat just to make sure in case they even fell over, she'd have no idea. Sat there, I talked to a marketing director at the football game. He helped me set that whole thing up of a fake dance off, and I'd come out when it was her turn, and they would play like romantic, upbeat, like happy song, but it's nothing like a dancing song. Obviously, if you guys see the video, you could realize that she had no idea what to do.
Yeah, I looked stupid.
But
Music. What is this music we have for you? Oh wait, what is that? On the court, yes.
But yeah, I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot to it. Once I bought it, just hit it.
And I mean, for me, because a lot of people are like,
Oh my god, like, did you know?
I didn't
have no idea
at all, just because I knew that it would be like a perfect weekend, like our family would be there and our college friends who really like witnessed our whole relationship would be there. But ultimately, you know, there's a lot of other like financial things that we need to take care of living here. And ultimately, I just didn't, like, I talked myself out of it that it would even be an option because I was just like, you know, it's just not the time. And sadly, yeah, it would be the perfect scenario, but like, it'll come back around. When they did pull me to the side and ask me to do a dance competition, I thought it was like...
She was on the phone.
I was on the phone and I was just like, yeah, sure, like okay, whatever. And then come back to like think of it, I was kind of like that, like that's weird, but like what are the odds? For me, I just needed to like stop looking into everything because it was coming to the point of that day where it was like, if he reached in his pocket, I'd be like, is he gonna do it? So I was just like, I'm letting it go. I'm freaking free falling. And then when I was out there, they played the stupid song, which they always make one person look stupid in those like games on fields. And so I was just like, freaking whatever, this is so dumb. And then the guy was like, whoa, what's over there? And I'm like, what? Like look around. And then I did it like complete like 180 and why it was there. And it was just, I melt. It was wild.
Yes.
It was really like it was a really unexplainable feeling.
Yeah,
Like,
you were blown away.
It's just like, you can't explain it until you go through it. It was nuts. Okay, so we're gonna do a few more just so we don't make this like too long. What's the most embarrassing moment with each other? I think my most embarrassing moment was just like in the beginning of our relationship when he was finding out how like stupid I am sometimes. And I like thought that like you needed a passport to like go to Hawaii. And like that, like I didn't know Alaska was like a part of the US. Just like silly questions like that.
It was just
where it was just like,
I found out and I realized that geography is like, she's in 2nd grade.
yeah, like I don't know the US. I really shouldn't be here, to be honest.
That Halloween when we had Cece over and like I drank like that whole bottle of vodka.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Right before it went black, I was like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
So we walked home.
I remember that, you're like, we need to leave.
And
we're like, what?
I get home, I pass out in the shower for like 30 minutes and I woke up and I'm like, well, obviously she helped me into this point. So I was like, that's pretty
that's funny.
That's pretty funny. I can't say I'm embarrassed by it, but that was something funny.
I miss college. That was wild.
That was so fun.
All right, I'm just gonna like hold it like this for just like a hot minute. The last few questions will be like kind of quick. So first off, how long did we date before we moved in with each other? We were dating for three and a half years.
Over 3.5.
So that's that answer for you.
Yeah. Reggie! Oh, it's
next
kids.
door.
It's kids. It sounds like something was happening.
Last but not least, when we are getting married, we're planning on getting married in Ohio, mostly because that's like where his family is. That's where my family can easily commute to, and it's great locations there. The weather is always very nice in the fall.
And we know downtown Columbus.
Yeah,
at the back of our
we know
hand,
everything, and it's just, I love Columbus. We are getting married there, so we will be commuting like back and forth a few times to hurry up and like hammer down wedding stuff. So we're kind of like running around with our heads cut off a little bit, like to hustle up and make it snappy. But we're planning on getting married next September.
That's crazy to say out loud, isn't it?
I know.
I called you from my fiance for the first time today, and I was like,
I was on the
that's
phone
right.
with Jared for my ring, and I was like, yeah, my boyfriend, and I was like,
oh my God.
my fiance. I guess really we're just gonna like wrap it up here because I don't want to keep you guys too long. Wyatt's Instagram is now public, so if y'all have any questions, you can just DM him now.
You should have just followed me in the first place. So now,
That
now
too.
you're fake. Way out your
You need
options
to
here.
follow Wyatt so you're not fake. Thanks for being here. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if you're like hyped for me or else.
You can comment, obviously, if you want it, because I bet you do.
What?
Like a Wyatt question of the week, something off the wall, so I can be kind of more involved a little bit. You know what I mean?
In what, my YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me like a random question, something so stupid, or like what I think about a small topic, and I'll give you an answer or something. I don't know.
That's funny. You should be more on your Instagram stories too.
Not yet.
Okay.
Once I get to 10,000 followers,
Ooh.
I'll do it.
We're warming up here. We're getting used to
Yeah,
it.
I'm at
3,000. 3,500 now.
yeah, I gained 1,000 followers in 3 days.
That's good.
Thanks, guys.
Let me know below what you guys want to see more of. Also, if you have any wedding hashtag ideas. But yeah, we love you guys. See you guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. We'll see you in the next video.
It's a new peace sign.
It's your peace sign if you're engaged. Okay. We love you. And I love you. We're gonna get married.
This would be a good picture for it.
Ooh, like that. You should do like the thumbnail. Did I mess up?
Oh my God.
Did I make a mistake?